Welcome to the Cougar Cast here at the Kokomo Post Sports. I'm your host, Jay Stevens, and this is the place to get all the information on what's going on inside the athletic department at IU Kokomo. And joining us on a special show during a special time at IUK is a couple athletes, one former athlete. Grant Gaylor is first. He's now throws coach at IUK, as well as a former national champion thrower at IUK. Grant, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me.
And then to my right, it's Gabe Wedmore, who is competing as a national qualifier in hammer throw in the outdoor national meet, which is next week. Gabe, welcome back.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well, man. Let's stick with you for a little bit. You were here in the wintertime competing in the indoor national meet, but now you're back in outdoor. How does it feel to compete in two national meets in one school year?
It was really good. It's been something that I've really wanted to work for this year. It's something that I coming indoor was like, okay, yeah, we're going for shot put, but then like coming outside, I didn't know if I was going to hit it for hammer or not. Like talking to Grant, like with weight throw, it didn't go the way I thought it would or even go higher, but just kind of trying to come back for it.
So I understand you dealt with an injury, and so in indoor you qualified in shot put. Now it's hammer throw. With that injury and some of the differences between the indoor and outdoor seasons, how does it feel to know that you kind of overcame an injury to still qualify for this meet right now?
So the injury is actually still going on.
Okay.
It's my scaphoid in my hand.
Ooh.
So when I would push the shot, it would put too much pressure into my wrist, and then the bone would just like act up and be inflamed for about a week or so. And then even now, I do have a flare up every once in a while, but with PT, I've been able to maintain it a lot better and easier.
That injury he's talking about, and we talked previously about some of the things you've done last time with Sydney about how you've helped her in just kind of the nerd stuff for throwing. How has it been a challenge for you? How have you overcome the challenge of knowing he's got an injury, but he still is pushing himself to qualify for the national meet? How did you overcome that and help him with that?
I think it's just I think the biggest thing with Gabe is he's a pretty technical thrower. Like he likes to follow all the guys on Instagram who throw really far and keep track of like throwing news. So that part he's up to date on. I think for him it's being more of a sounding board, and then kind of sometimes he likes to smash stuff. So just like protecting him from himself. Like he wants to go out and slam throws all the time, which is good. But we can't do that all the time. And I feel like being more of a sounding board, like helping him keep his eye on the long-term vision and make sure that we're training every day to work towards that, not just to have a good training session and, to be mindful of, his hand and stuff like that, and make sure that we're altering the lifting so it's not putting pressure on his hand, and that we're just being mindful and listening to his body.
How do you feel knowing you have two throwers that are throwing in the outdoor national meet that you coach throughout the year?
It's pretty awesome, especially because they both qualified for hammer, which I never threw in college. So this is like I've had to learn a lot with them. I've had to make sure that I'm staying humble and listening to them, but also keeping an objective lens. So it's been a unique challenge, but it's really exciting because it has allowed me to grow as a coach, and I can grow with my athletes. So it's been a really fun experience.
What's the preparation been like for this meet?
Been a lot of just slow training and try to take it week by week. I know, like he said, I like to smash a lot. It's like
You smiled when he said that too.
I just like to go out there and throw it as hard as I can every once in a while. But like about the past month, I've been trying to take it a lot slower than I usually am. Just trying to be more technical instead of trying to throw it as hard as I can. Like this week has been more of a push hard week, and it's been going well. I think it's coming together.
Has it been challenging?
Yeah, especially the past month.
Yeah.
Just trying to take each week slow. It's like I went to Ohio State, and then I threw that 55. Like I opened up with a big PR as it was, and then carried on to open up with an even bigger PR. And that was pretty cool.
So you didn't throw hammer at all?
Nope.
Was it difficult to learn how to coach something you didn't throw?
Yes and no. So I was a glider in high school, and I knew very little about rotational shot. I rotated in discus, but it wasn't very good. So I had to learn that almost from the ground up. Okay. So I'd done it before, but I was able to, I've been able to actually throw shot and disc rotationally in college. So I had the know-how to learn a new thing, but it's a different connection to learn how to do something and coach it and not necessarily compete or throw it yourself, because you have to almost see what they're feeling and listen to what they're feeling rather than actually experiencing yourself. So it's been challenging in some ways. Like I can't, I don't know what it feels like to have the hammer pull me into a turn or sit against the ball, but I can see what it looks like and I can imagine what it feels like from what I've done in other throwing events. But I know how to learn it, but it's different not being able to do it. So my repertoire of cues and my fluency in hammer and weight is not as good as shot put, but I think I'm getting to a point where I can see a lot of fundamental things and I can make really more meaningful comments about what that throw looked like or what it probably felt to the athlete.
What's your favorite part about coaching Gabe?
My favorite part is that he comes every day and he's going to try really hard to do his best. And he's always willing to work, always willing to learn. And he just has an incredible passion for the sport that I enjoy seeing because, I mean, in any type of forum of athletics or anything like that, not everybody's passionate about what they're doing for a lot of different reasons, but he's one of the guys who's really passionate about what he's doing. What's
your favorite part about being coached by Grant?
He's gone through a lot to teach me to be a little bit more patient in how I throw. I like to get after it too much sometimes. I've had to learn how to calm down from it.
What's one of those stories about one time you've been trying to go after it a little bit too hard?
Well, actually, earlier in the season, I was throwing hammer, and I started out a little too hard, and I ended up pulling a muscle in my back. And
Ooh!
It didn't feel great, and I had to take it really slow for a few weeks.
Ooh!
I got a story.
Okay, go for it.
This is early in the season. It was our first indoor practice, so we shift from 4 p.m. practice roughly to 6 a.m.
Oh, buddy!
So you go from, you last practice right before Thanksgiving. It's 4 p.m. and then I'm like, all right, get ready because we're coming back at 6 a.m. First practice back. I said, how much did you sleep last night? Because I see he's hanging his head.
Yeah.
I said 90 minutes. And I'm like, we better take it easy today. And he takes it easy for the first half. And then, he really gets after one. He gets yanked and slammed on the ground, and he's grabbing his knee. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is. And he goes to the trainer, and he's like, you might have bilateral ACL damage or whatever. I'm like, I don't think that's right. But so they MRI him, it's fine. But I was like, he got if you could have seen it, you'd have been like, that's not good. He just got full on slammed. The weight pulled him, yanked him, stretched him out, and he got slammed on the ground. But that's another story about Gabe.
90 minutes of sleep, man.
It was great.
Oh man, I can only imagine. So if I remember was correct, the indoor national meet was that in Florida?
Yeah,
it's in Indiana at Marion, which isn't far away for the outdoor national meet.
correct.
As you as a coach, how do you help kids go from Florida, which is hours away, to being able to be 30, 35, 40 minutes away for this meet?
It certainly is a different transition because we do compete at that venue several times a year. Even in indoor, you're going to that place, 3 to 4 times a year overall and then 2 times outdoor. So it's a good thing because you're familiar with the facility. It's a different feeling because it doesn't elevate you as much as, going to Florida does.
Yeah.
Going to a place I've never been before, or for an athlete or for a coach, it's a little different vibe. It's easy to get hyped up more, which is, comes with its own blessings and curses. But I think the biggest thing is remembering okay, where we're at Marion, we're at IU, but it's the national meet. We have to remain focused. This is not just another meet, another weekend. This is the meet. So I feel making sure that we're giving it as much prep time as we would for if we're flying and traveling, 16, 18 hours away, we give it the same amount of prep time, making sure we're making all the practices on time, implement weigh-ins. We're doing everything we need to be doing lifting and throwing wise. I think it's just, even though it's closer, we got to make sure that we're as locked in as we would be really far away.
Now, will you guys be staying there on campus or in the area or going back and forth?
We'll be going back and forth.
Okay. Is that a benefit for you?
I think it's a benefit because I actually get to sleep in my own bed.
90 minutes, right?
Hopefully more.
Hopefully.
Shooting for around 8 hours. So
I feel that. What's the last comment you want to leave the people with about coaching 2 athletes in this meet?
I think the biggest thing about coaching at the national level, in whatever division, whatever organization, is that you have to be willing to make sacrifices for your athletes. You have to be willing to stay humble and meet them where they're at, but also demand more of them. I think it's about finding that balance. Each athlete is different, but if you approach coaching with the respect and reverence it deserves, you're going to have great outcomes, whether that's you have all conference athletes, national qualifiers, All-Americans, you're going to do good things where you're at.
What are your last comments about throwing in the hammer throw in this event?
I'm very honored to even be here and be allowed this position. So
that's Grant Gaylor. That's Gabe Wedmore. He's the throws coach. He's throwing in the outdoor national meet in the hammer throw. And guys, this has been the Cougar Cast. We'll see you next time.